Three, two, one. We're live.
What's up, everybody? Welcome back to the second episode of the Cash In, Cash Out podcast. I'm here. My name is CB, Caleb Sims. It's my co-host, Dakari.
DK, what's up, y'all?
And everybody, we got a special guest today, man. It's my boy, Vince.
Yo, what's up, man? Name's Vince. Last name Francisco.
Vince, man, just tell everybody a little bit about yourself, man. Maybe favorite teams, favorite sports icons, man. Just a little bit about you.
I'm a huge Kobe fan, man. I love the Bulls. I was a fan of the Spurs when they were like winning, but now we got to get Victor Wembanyama. So yeah, we tanking for him. So yeah, that's all, man. And I'm also a Chicago Bears fan.
Oh, bro, go Bears.
Go Bears.
If you like that. Not me, though. You see what I got on. I mean, maybe one day I'll come in here with a Justin Fields jersey on, man. I got
you
one.
You can't flip-flop. You gotta pick it now.
I'm a Chiefs fan until the day I die. But the Bears will always be my second favorite team, man.
This boy been bandwagoning since 2014.
No, it's not a bandwagon thing, man. Let me tell my story, man. Let me tell my piece, all right?
What's the story?
So this is how I became a Chiefs fan, man. And obviously I'm a big Chiefs fan. But I forget the exact year. I think it might have been 2010, 2012, something like that. And, my dad's a Bears fan. Everybody around is a Bears fan. So I'm a Bears fan by proxy, you know what I'm saying? But I was watching the game, man. And my least favorite football player of all time is Jay Cutler. I mean, Jay Cutler is – I didn't respect his grind. I didn't respect his hustle. I didn't respect – he played in the NFC Championship, man. Broke his thumb on his non-throwing hand and sat the rest of the game against the Packers.
Right.
Against the Packers.
Some rivalry.
I mean, you have to play that game. You have to play that whole game. I don't even care if you broke your thumb on your throwing hand. You got to play that game out, bro. That's NFC Championship game against the Packers. You have to play that game, bro.
Man,
and he didn't play.
In his defense, though, well, if he would have broke his hand or something, it would have ruined it. For the rest of his career,
bro.
He didn't get that big old bag they gave him for being average
and
for the rest of his career.
So let me get to that. So they lose that game, obviously, because the starting quarterback doesn't play. And then I tell myself, okay, as a 10, 12-year-old boy, I tell myself, if the Chicago Bears re-sign Jay Cutler, I cannot be a fan of that organization anymore. Because how do you not see as an organization that he does not have that dog in him?
Right.
Like, how do you not see that? I see it as a 12-year-old kid. And so I said, hey, if they re-sign him, I can't be a Bears fan anymore. And like you just said, they signed him to what was at the time the biggest contract for any NFL player in the history of the sport, bro. Signed him, he got the biggest bag, bro. And I couldn't believe that they paid the worst player the most money. I said, I can't be a fan of that team anymore. Man. And so my favorite player at the time was Jamal Charles. And I was like, hey, I need a team.
Chiefs.
Go Chiefs. Go Chiefs. And we were bad back then. We were bad. Back 2012, 2013, bro. Oh, man. But, hey, what a time to be alive now.
Right, y'all got Mahomes.
What a time to be a fan, man. Man, it was good. It's been a good run as a fan, too. I'm not going to lie.
I bet. You guys got Mahomes. You guys are still a dynasty right now. Got the greatest tight end all time.
Imagine having the best tight end and the best quarterback at the same time.
Man, imagine having both of them and losing in 2 weeks. That's crazy.
They're gonna lose, but
we don't
gotta talk about that right
now. We will talk about it later, actually.
Yeah,
but let's get this thing popping, man. Why don't we, man? Let's talk about last week, man. Let's run it back. Let's run it back for everybody, man. And let's talk about. We started off last week talking about the best team in football. Let's do it again. Let's talk about the Chiefs defeating the Bengals 23-20, man. What do you guys think about the game?
Man, when I looked at that game, man, Chiefs versus Bengals, I looked at something that was supposed to happen, bro. I did not expect the Bengals to walk into Arrowhead one more time after talking all that mess, talking about Burrowhead. And I did not expect them to go. Like I said last week, how much I hate Eli Apple. I was praying on his downfall, bro. He was not going to get that. He was not going to get anywhere close to that Super Bowl, bro.
No, because there was no chance.
Look, first of all, Patrick Mahomes injured, right? Mm-hmm. That did not scare me not one bit. I don't know if it scared either of y'all at all, but
a little bit. Just a smidge.
I just felt like, it's Mahomes, man. That man magic. Like,
yeah.
He going to get it done.
Right.
Yeah.
And he got it done.
He definitely got it done, man. What you think, Vince?
I think the Chiefs defense stepped up big time.
that I think is the most slept on story
Right.
of the whole game.
You know, they knew that the weakness was the O lineman, so the defense stepped up. You know, they rushed. What's his name? Chris Jones stepped
Jones.
up big time, whole defense, and then they were just putting
Frank
pressure.
Clark, George
Frank Clark.
Karlaftis,
Yep.
Mike Dana. Chiefs ended up with I'm just going off the brain here. I think it was 6 sacks on Joe Burrow. It may have been 5. 5 sacks on Joe Burrow. And I mean, it was just, it was crazy. I have not seen our defense play like that.
Right. Just like what you told me, they were mad.
They were mad, bro.
Mad,
and
yeah.
I mean, like I said to you, I think that defensive line, and I mean really just defense in general, I think on that side of the ball, it's a lot easier to let your emotions impact your play because it's a lot more physical.
Mm-hmm.
Like if you're on the D line and your only goal is put this offensive lineman on his ass and get to the quarterback, if you're mad now, just adding that in, I mean, you've seen Frank Clark, which also I had a bet on Frank Clark getting 1 sack. It was plus 135. Lock in with me. But Frank Clark came off the edge in the first quarter. And I mean, just bodied the left tackle. I don't even know who the left tackle is on the Bengals, but bodied the left tackle, came straight through, and then him and George Karlaftis came down, and Frank Clark got his sack, which, by the way, if you guys didn't know, Frank Clark, 3rd now. After last game, 3rd all-time in playoff sacks.
Seattle Seahawks legend.
And Kansas City Chief King, man. I mean, that is a real dog. I don't know if y'all seen a picture of him with the Uzis in his hands, man, but Frank Clark is a dog, man. Chris Jones obviously stepping up. Best player on our defense. Always has been the best player on our defense. I mean, ended up with 2 sacks. Before that game, he had never had a playoff sack. I don't know if you guys knew that one either, but never had a playoff sack for somebody as good as him. No sacks in his playoff career. It was a great game, man. I'm not gonna lie. It was a great game to watch. It was definitely more fun to watch than the first game. But I would, huh?
Because y'all won.
I mean that too, but like it was also more competitive. I feel like I feel like people were. I mean, there was actually stakes on the game. That game came down to the wire. Like, it really came down to the last second, the very last play, honestly, to send the game to overtime.
Not only that, man, it came down to the last play. It came down to 3 39s. We're not going to talk about that, though.
Yeah, no, trust me. I've been on the other side of that, bro, because 2018 AFC Championship game, man, the Chiefs had Tom Brady to 3rd and 10 4 straight times in a row, and he converted every single time. Walked that boy into the end zone and punched it in. So
I mean,
sent us packing.
You know the news that came out earlier in the week where Arian Foster was talking about the NFL scripts. You know, man, he was a hero of the story at the time. Now it's Mahomes' time to be.
That's how it is, man. I mean, yeah, it's the story is written for him now, man. And I mean, that was really a career-defining game. Like, I mean, maybe one day down the line we'll look at it and it won't be that impactful because of how great he is and how great he'll be for the time to come. But, man, but it really went down to the wire, man, and that gets me thinking, like. As somebody who's watching the game and somebody who went to the Chiefs-Bengals game in the regular season and actually watched it live, I will say I was a little disappointed that the game came down to a referee's call. I'm not going to lie. Like, even though it was a good call for us and it automatically put us in the field goal range, I was a little disappointed. I wanted to see us just punch it down, like punch it to him, bro. Like really show him, all right, we're going to get in the field goal range, 8 seconds, get the ball out of bounds, kick the field goal, and then really show y'all that we beat y'all. But the refs really came in and kind of won us the game, man. So what do y'all think about that, man? Do you guys think maybe the refs are a little too involved in sports nowadays?
I say yes, and I say yes with like 100% of my heart on it, bro. Because the way I look at it, like, yeah, what was the name of the linebacker that hit him?
I think it's Joseph Osai.
Joseph Osai.
First of all, going off on that game too.
He had a great game.
Yeah, he's a great player. Game. Yeah, he was going. First of all, like, I know it's like hard to stop your momentum when you like in the zone like that, hitting like late and stuff. Definitely. But I feel like calls in the NFL and the NBA
because definitely the NBA.
Sidetrack a little bit, but if y'all watch a Lakers game in the last 2 months, it has been ridiculous.
Seriously.
But back to the NFL, man, like, I feel like refs are a little bit too involved, but then again, what can you really do? Because you're human, you know what I mean? Like, they have to make these calls in like the split-second decision, and I feel like it would be like if we put like a normal like sports fan in their shoes, they probably would do a lot worse than some of these refs. But with that said, that the refs definitely have to get better.
Yeah,
I didn't like that call at all. I think it was too much.
I'm not gonna lie, like I definitely like the call. And for everybody out there that's saying that they called a game completely in the favor of the Chiefs and everything like that. I slightly disagree with that. I think that we got more calls. I think we definitely got more calls. But I think that when the calls were called in our favor or when they were called against Cincinnati, I think that they were usually pretty good calls. I think that was definitely unnecessary roughness on Pat Mahomes going off to the sideline.
Right. Yeah.
And like, I think it was clearly, it was clearly unnecessary roughness. And there was another guy in front of Pat Mahomes. Even if Osai didn't push Mahomes out of bounds, there was another guy in front of him that like could have made the tackle if he wasn't out of bounds. So it wasn't like it was a super big necessity. But I think that most of the calls in that game, other than I will say the intentional grounding, when Joe Burrow kind of sidearmed it to the ground and it was supposed to go to P. Ryan, but he just kind of threw it into the ground. I don't know about that one. I don't think that it really changed the perspective of the game. I don't think that anything different would have happened, whether it would have been 3rd and 10 or 3rd and 14. I don't think it really changed much. No, but I think that when the refs called the call, it was usually a pretty good call, man. But it got me thinking, man, like, in FIFA they have like those I don't know the correct word for it, but they were like the computer reviews it, and they have like that virtual kind of like AR kind of thing where you can see, like, for instance, if a player was offsides and they scored a goal, you can see there's like a virtual reality line on the field, and you can see their big toe went across the line, and so it's technically an offsides call. So what do you guys think? Like, I don't know. Do you think that they should try and implement something like that in the NFL, NBA? I mean, they're already starting it in the MLB. They have like virtual umpires in AAA games now that are calling strikes and balls. And I mean, if you're watching football from home and you can see all the different ways where they'll show exactly where the ball was placed and exactly what the yardage is, they can show you the exact spot of the ball with it, like with the cameras and all that stuff like that. But so why wouldn't you automatically just go with
We're
that?
already so advanced, we might as well do it.
Might as well. That's what I'm thinking.
That's gonna make it easier.
My only question is, like, how do you implement it though? Because, like, football is like a really aggressive, like, it's almost, I want to say, like, it's a gladiator sport kind of. Like,
it definitely is a lot more than other sports that we have here too.
I feel like if we do that, like, some of these calls, like, how we are, like, how, like, the old heads, how they say it's like every sport now is soft, everything, all these players get all these calls and stuff. I feel like with computer AI, it's probably gonna be a lot more calls, and a lot of people are gonna be. I feel like the game's gonna like stall a little bit, and like it's gonna be a little, because like I heard like a saying before, like if you look at an NFL game, there's almost like a holding call that can be called on every play.
I agree.
And I'm not sitting through a game where they just call holding every down.
There's so many players on the field.
That's a really valid point, man. Yeah. Like, I think about like basketball. Like, if I'm watching a Grizzlies game where the AI calls carries every single time it happens, you're not watching basketball anymore. You're just watching calls get called the whole time. That's a really good point, man. I never really thought about it like that, but it would definitely slow down the game, take away kind of the naturalness of it, because I think sometimes a ref, like, swallowing their whistle, sometimes it's better for the game, man. And obviously sometimes it's way worse. You think about that, I think it was 2019 or maybe 2018, that Rams Saints NFC Championship game where there was clear as day pass interference call. I mean, it was obvious, and they didn't call it. And now obviously an AI ref would call that. But you think about all the other calls, man, where like your favorite receiver goes up and just absolutely mosses one of those DBs, and it was clearly offensive pass interference, like jumping up and putting their hands in their face and things like that. But man, like, I don't know. You're definitely right. I think it may be a little too much for the game. It might take away some of that genuineness of the game, man. But I think the biggest takeaway from the Chiefs-Bengals game, to kind of throw it all back to that, Mahomes is the best quarterback in the NFL, man. And I don't think that was a secret to anybody. I don't think anybody was wondering if he was. But last week I came on here and I said that the top 3 quarterbacks in the NFL were Mahomes, Joe Burrow, and then Mahomes on one leg. And obviously, man, I was wrong. Top 3 quarterbacks is Mahomes on one leg, and then Joe Burrow. So,
hey, I got something to contest that, though. I know I sent it to you earlier, bro. You know the NFLPA, the players, they all voted on top 5 quarterbacks in the league, right? I'm just gonna let y'all answer it for me. Who did they say was number 2? They said number 1 is Patrick Mahomes, but who's number 2? Who's number 2?
That's Vince Guy. That's Josh Allen.
Josh
Allen, number
That's
2.
Josh Allen.
Yeah.
Actually,
Allen.
wasn't Burrow like 4 or 5? I think it was
pull it
4.
back up. But I think he was
4.
like 4th. Yeah.
I think it was Mahomes, Allen, and I think it was who was number 3? Was it Hurts? I can actually pull it up here real quick. Let me see. Yeah, 3 was Hurts. Mahomes, Allen, Hurts, Burrow, Lamar Jackson.
Man, I can live with that.
Voted by the player.
You want to know?
I can live with that.
You want to know my biggest reason?
Why?
Because man, no Justin Herbert. Social media QB are not on that list.
You don't rock with Jay Herbo?
Look, I rock with Jay Herbo, but is he a top 5 quarterback? To me, absolutely not.
Who's your top 5 in the league right now?
Top 5
in the league.
Man, in order or no order?
If you can give it an order, give it an order. But if you don't feel it,
me personally, I think I gotta go Mahomes, my boy Josh Allen. Third, I feel like third and fourth they interchangeable. I feel like Hurts and Burrow are pretty. It's up in the air between them. It depends on like your offense, your personnel, who you have.
Like what you're trying to run.
Yeah.
But then fifth, I'm so glad the players put respect on Lamar Jackson, man, because Lamar Jackson is such a generational talent, bro.
For real. It's ridiculous the disrespect he gets. I mean, it's ridiculous the disrespect that Lamar Jackson gets. Man, I can't understand it.
I know his backup Tyler Huntley is a Pro Bowl alternate for some reason, but. How you a Pro Bowl alternate throwing 4 touchdowns, 5 interceptions, 70 passer rate? Like I feel like I could have went out there and did that, bro. Like
I don't know how he got the Pro Bowl vote. To be honest, bro, I would have gave it to Derek Carr over Tyler Huntley.
You would have gave it to who?
Come on now,
Derek Carr.
The Derek Carr discussion is one for a different day, man. But just know that your boy who watches Derek Carr play a minimum of 2 games every year, man, a minimum, because I gotta watch him play the Chiefs. Derek Carr is a respectable QB, man. Now, I'm not saying he's great. I'm not saying he's even that good. But he's respectable, man. Like, if people going to put respect on Jimmy G, they got to put respect on Derek Carr, man.
Well, if you don't put respect on either of them.
I can't be mad at you then. If you don't like either of them, then you don't like either of them, man. Because I can definitely see how you could not favor either of them, man. But I'm definitely a Jimmy G supporter. I'm a big quarterback wins guy. I definitely think that quarterback wins are they matter, especially in today's game. I'm not gonna lie, like I really believe in that. And Jimmy G is a big quarterback wins guy. I mean, he wins games, bro. You can't deny that. You can't ever deny the fact that when Jimmy G is on the field, the Niners win. Is it always his fault that they win? Maybe not. No. But he's there. He shows up to their wins, man.
The way I look at it, bro, if Jimmy G was starting for the 49ers, man, in that last game, I think they still would have lost. But it would have been a lot closer.
Yeah, did you see that picture or that video? Like, I was watching the game, they cut to the sideline looking at McCaffrey and Juszczyk looking at the iPads trying to figure out the game plan and stuff. And they showed fucking Jimmy G just over there laughing, bro. He was just on the sideline cracking up. And I was like, wow, to be in Jimmy G's shoes, man. To just always get paid to be on the sidelines, or just to get carried to the NFC Championship game, man. And hey, shout out to Jimmy G, man. A good old Illinois boy. Hey, I think.
Shout out to Jimmy G.
Where is Jimmy G from? He from somewhere around here, man.
School?
No, he went to Eastern Illinois for his school,
here, bro.
But yeah, he from like what? Is he from Arlington Heights?
Jimmy G, man. Where you from? Arlington Heights.
See, I know my stuff,
bro. That's why y'all gotta listen to me, bro. Listen to DK,
number one hater.
Hey, I'm the number one hater. I looked up all his stats, bro.
Arlington. Shout out to Jimmy G, man. Arlington Heights boy, man.
Hey, shout out to you, Jimmy, bro. I can't wait to see you in Tampa Bay going 7-10 next year, bro. It's gonna be nice.
They might get Jameis Winston though in Tampa Bay, so
my boy J-Bo.
Wow, J-Bo back to Tampa. That would be nice. That would be nice.
8-9, boy.
I think I'm gonna be honest. Whatever happens to Tampa, they're not gonna be good. They're not gonna be good.
My whole thing about Tampa though, they're not gonna be good. But if we look at that division, that entire division is awful.
Yeah,
that entire division. Who's gonna be the division winner next year? Think about it.
Shoot, if I'm being honest, bro, I'd probably go.
Wait, who's the
Falcons?
Oh,
come on, they were decent.
I was thinking Falcons, bro. I don't like Desmond Ridder at all, but I mean, maybe the Falcons, bro. I was listening to Chris Broussard from First Things First this morning, and he brought up a really good point, man, talking about Mahomes. He made the comparison, right? Bill Russell and Michael Jordan. Okay, so Bill Russell. He got all the rings. He's got all the accolades and everything like that.
Play against plumbers.
Okay. But Michael Jordan comes into the league, plays for a few years, man, wins his 3 rings, retires. And regardless of what happened, man, with 3 rings, they already said Michael Jordan's the GOAT. Michael Jordan's the best basketball player to ever play.
Right, go.
Until LeBron started. But anyway, so they said that, Michael Jordan was the GOAT. Regardless, he had 3 rings at the time, and they were already calling him the GOAT. Bill Russell got, 11?
Right.
Yeah, so that's the comparison, right? I think, and Chris Broussard made this point, all credit to him, Bill Russell is Tom Brady. Bill Russell is not none of these old Montana, Staubach, all these guys. Bill Russell is Tom Brady, and Patrick Mahomes is Michael Jordan. Because Pat Mahomes is coming after this dude, and I really do feel this way. I feel like we are on the brink of some of the best NFL talent the world has ever seen. And I think you guys might agree with that. I mean, we are seeing great players at every position on every team. I mean, like you said, Bill Russell was playing against plumbers. Think about Tom Brady in 2002.
Let's not do that.
Okay, I mean, there's great defenses and stuff like that, but if you compare the talent position to position, like, this may be crazy, right? Eli Apple in 2005, top 15 corner.
You almost made me walk off the set. You almost made me walk
okay,
off the set,
maybe that's a stretch, right? But think about like some fringe cornerbacks, like L'Jarius Sneed. You think about like some fringe top 15 guys, like those guys probably would have dominated the game. Think about some fringe like linebackers or D linemen. Obviously, there was greats, right? There was greats, but there's not a ton of greats in those eras. But in this era, every team has 5 guys that could go to the Pro Bowl every year. Every team. Now they obviously all don't make it. There's not enough spots. But every team has guys that you could potentially see go.
You wanna know why?
Other than the Bears offense.
You wanna know why they make the Pro Bowl? It's because the Pro Bowl is a joke now, bro.
Okay, the Pro Bowl. Okay, but even like the All Pro team. Like there's players on every team that could make the All Pro team every single year. Whereas if you look back on some super old teams, man, I wish I'd have brought up the stats, man. I might bring this up next week, but if you look back on some super old teams, man, there's some teams where the whole team, you will never remember a single name on the entire team, bro. That's just how I feel. I feel like we're really on the hockey stick curve where it's, kind of been going up, and now it's going to exponentially go up to where there's going to be limitless talent in the NFL.
Name an All-Pro in the Bears.
Roquan Smith before he got traded.
That doesn't count. No, that doesn't count. Name an All-Pro in the Bears.
Right now?
Right now.
Justin Fields, if they really cared, man.
I think he's All-Pro talent in the future, but
maybe
I'm talking about
not
this
year.
past season.
This past season,
there's none.
Cody Whitehair.
Is it Whittier?
Is it Whitehair?
I
don't know.
Tevin Jenkins?
Yeah, there's nobody. You're right. Like right now, you're right. There's definitely nobody on the Bears.
And plus, counter your point from earlier about the defenses, bro. I feel like Tom Brady though, he played in the era where you could lay somebody out, bro.
That's definitely true.
Yeah, have you ever gone on YouTube and watched Sean Taylor highlights?
Oh man,
yeah.
He used to be sending dudes into doing 360s, bro.
This is crazy.
Man, they in the Pro Bowl game, man. He laid the kicker. They didn't care back then, bro.
Bro, can we talk about the Pro Bowl, man? Are y'all excited for the Pro Bowl this year? Just be 100% honest.
I haven't been excited for the Pro Bowl my entire life.
That's what I was telling people, man. I haven't watched the Pro Bowl in probably 5-6 years, maybe even longer than that, bro. It's really pointless. And now I think the prospect of it being flag football makes it a little bit more interesting because I think people will have more motivation to play good. Like, just because you're not going to get hurt, but you want to win. I mean, these guys are ultimate competitors.
I might watch it.
You want to win. But like before, especially the last like maybe 4 or 5 years, there's no defense. Like, it's not actually a game. It's just see who can score the most points. Like, yeah, I feel like it kind of became like the NBA's All-Star game where it's like, what's the All-Star game now? Like a race to 150 or something like that? Like,
it's like a certain number.
It's like a race to 100 something. Like
yeah.
That's what the NFL was kind of becoming. I was like,
but,
like you said, Sean Taylor, he used to come through and lay people out in the Pro Bowl, bro. It's like that's what I want to see. I want to see all the best players in the whole league playing at 110% and see which conference is better.
You could load that up on Madden. But anyway, man, look. I don't like how you brought the All-Star game into this, man, because to me, over the last couple years, the All-Star game has improved so much.
You think so?
Like, I feel like it's ever since, like, what year was that? 2020 when in Chicago? Like ever since they implemented it, it's just been interesting to watch. Like last year, did you see?
It is interesting.
You see Steph in the game last year?
Yeah.
Man.
Look at Steph, man. Inspirational.
LeBron hitting the game winning shot in Cleveland.
Yeah.
That was cool. Like, but the Pro Bowl, they can't, because people too scared of getting hurt, right?
Yeah.
Which that's what the flag football is for.
Exactly.
But my whole thing is, they're doing this and they adding all these gimmicks like the world's fastest man, best catch, and it's just not interesting, bro. And
not at all.
And then like last year, you got people like, well, not last year, like this year, you're gonna have people like Tyler Huntley. You watching, and you not.
Mac
watching
Jones was a Pro Bowler.
Mac
Jones was a Pro Bowler, bro.
Jones.
So like the title of Pro Bowler means absolutely nothing nowadays. Like Pro Bowl used to kind of like be similar to an All Pro selection. Like if you were a Pro Bowler, you were top of your position in the league.
They consider it in Hall of Fame consideration.
They
too.
do.
Yeah.
You can't do that no more because Tyler Huntley's not getting a Hall of Fame nomination.
Man,
not one.
You might get a vote from me.
Oh, bro, I love Tyler Huntley. No disrespect to Tyler Huntley, man. Shout out to Tyler Huntley, man. That's a real dog in the game, man. I respect Tyler Huntley a lot, man. But we talked a lot about the Chiefs, man, and we really didn't talk at all about the Bengals, man. See you next year, pals. Yeah, Burrow pack was definitely in the air, like Mahomes' dad said. Mahomes' dad brought out that cigar. He said, I'm smoking on that Burrow. Oh, bro.
Yeah, social media, they said they know somebody can barbecue.
That was his dad for real. I was like, this is his dad?
No, you know what was more funny to me, bro? I could believe that's Mahomes' dad. Like Patrick Mahomes' dad. I can't believe that's Jackson Mahomes' dad.
That is crazy.
I cannot believe that's Jackson Mahomes' dad, bro. No way. But let's talk about the Eagles, man. And I will say, on tape, on camera, last week, I said the Eagles would, and I quote, tap that ass. So,
you did say that.
What did they go out and do? They went out and tapped that ass, man. 31-7, man. But let me ask you guys a quick question, man. Do you feel bad for the 49ers, man? Fourth quarterback of the year. They had to start two different quarterbacks. Really, if you think about it, they started four different quarterbacks in the game. So do you feel bad that the Niners were really down to their last leg and couldn't put up a good fight in the NFC Championship game?
Man, look. Disclaimer. I've been a lifelong Russell Wilson fan. So let me tell you. I'm looking dead in the camera and I say this too. I would never feel bad for the 49ers. Ever in my life. Not once. Nah. And then the crazy thing about it is 49ers fans, 49ers faithful, they talk so much.
You know, I didn't even know that was a thing until recently, the 49ers faithful.
I mean, I think because of the 90s, them and the Cowboys, they have like the two biggest fan bases. But
that's true.
It don't matter, bro. Look, I feel bad for Purdy in particular because like he messed up his UCL. He needs Tommy John. He needs Tommy John surgery.
Yep.
Yeah, that's tough. I feel bad for him. But for the 49ers, no. And then you seen the way that George Kittle was talking about the Eagles defense?
I didn't even see what he said.
I wish I had the clip, but I think he said something about, I seen it on Darius Slay podcast. He was talking about how George Kittle basically disrespected the Eagles defense. So then they came out
and they locked them up. I'm not gonna lie. I mean, I'm not gonna lie. I'm watching the game, and the whole time the defense, especially like first half and even like first half of the third quarter, the defense was keeping them in that game. The 49ers had a chance the whole time, and I feel like if Brock Purdy was playing, I mean, so the Eagles put up 31. The final score was 31-7. If Brock Purdy was playing, and we've seen it before with these Niners games,
they could put up run 31. The ball though.
No,
because they were just running the ball. Yeah.
I mean, yeah, it was just bad luck for them. I will say, as somebody who doesn't really care about either of these teams, I feel really bad for the 49ers. I mean, like, they fought hard to get all the way here. They got all the way here with a third-string quarterback.
Mr. Irrelevant.
Mm-hmm. A rookie, third-string, last pick in the NFL draft, and they got all the way here. And they got here pretty convincingly. Mm-hmm. They beat up everybody they saw on the way here, except one team, but we won't talk about the Chiefs beating them by 24. But,
man, look. That brings a question to me, bro. I mean, from me to y'all. So, last week we were talking about how if Brock Purdy came out and somehow won that game, how basically you have to roll with Purdy because, that's the Super Bowl winning quarterback. Mm-hmm. But since he's not, and especially since he has a UCL surgery, who do they go with next offseason? Because I already know who I think they should.
Trey Lance.
Exactly.
We got to go with Trey Lance.
Because I'm sorry, bro. It's in his throwing arm too, isn't it? Did you see it?
It is.
I don't think he's gonna be the same. I don't think you can be the same after something like that. Like I've seen
Didn't
it.
Josh Allen get that surgery too?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Same one.
And you see Josh Allen. Josh Allen, my boy, man. You know
He's
what I
my
mean?
boy,
But
too.
You see
He is
he
not
be
my boy.
turnover prone. You know, he kind of turnover prone. You know what I mean? But I feel like with Brock Purdy, with it being his first half a season, not even the full season, I don't know if you're the 49ers. I don't know if you could just trust that.
I can tell you who I think they should run with. Derek Carr.
I'll tell you why Derek Carr won't.
Let me tell you something, bro. See, here's the 49ers issue, okay? They always go for game managers, okay? I mean, they always go for game managers. I mean, they get if you can complete a 5-yard pass, you can play quarterback for the 49ers.
Mm-hmm.
Derek Carr is a great game manager. Like I think he's really good, especially like back against the wall, fourth quarter, 4 minutes left in the game. We need a touchdown. Derek Carr is going to go get you a touchdown. I mean, I really believe in that. He may not be a good 4-quarter guy, but if you need Derek Carr, he's going to get you there. And all the 49ers need in a quarterback, the only quality you have to have as quarterback of the 49ers is don't get hurt. That's all they need out of you, bro. If you can play 17 games in the regular season and 3 in the postseason, I think you can get to a Super Bowl. Anybody in the NFL on the 49ers, bro.
Anybody?
I think almost anybody. Almost anybody. I really do believe that, bro. I really believe this. And I said this to somebody earlier today. If the backup quarterback for the 49ers was Chase Daniel instead of Josh Johnson, they'd have won that game. They'd have won that game. I really believe that. If they had a competent backup for their third string, if they had a competent fourth string quarterback, bro, they're going to the Super Bowl.
Most teams don't even have a competent backup.
That's
crazy.
I mean that's
Exactly.
and that's the craziest thing about it, bro, is that Brock Purdy could step in and take them all the way to the NFC Championship game. So I think if they have somebody that is halfway decent, and I mean, granted, he got hurt middle of the third quarter, so we didn't even see the full game out of him. But I mean, going into halftime, he wasn't even completing 5-yard slants to Deebo Samuel. So, but like if they have somebody really competent, they can go anywhere with that roster. And that roster together has one more year. Especially if Trent Williams decides to stay, they got one more year. That's it. I mean, they're going to have to start paying people. They're going to have to start moving people. Next year is the year. You get one guy and you push for it, man.
It's going to be a cakewalk for them next year.
Cakewalk. I mean, the only competition they had was the Eagles. I mean, I could have seen them confidently beating up anybody in the NFC. Beating them up.
You know, we're sleeping on all the weapons that they have. We don't talk about it more. We always talk about Purdy.
Every single position group they have an all-pro.
We always talk about Purdy.
Yeah.
We don't talk about Deebo, Elijah Mitchell, CMC, Kittle. So many weapons. Brandon Ayuk.
Yeah.
Ayuk. You have great offensive linemen. You have Trent Williams, a Hall of Famer. You have Eric Armstead, Nick Bosa. So I hope he gets second in Defensive Player of the Year. But Defensive Player of the Year, you have what's their safety? Jimmy Ward. You have all pro players in every single position group. Mm-hmm. I mean, their team is ridiculous. And so if you add somebody like Derek Carr, not only is he competent enough to get you first downs, move the chains, actually do something productive, but Derek Carr doesn't get hurt. I think he's only been hurt once in his entire career. I mean, Derek Carr will stay in the game. He'll eat some hits, and he'll sling that rock. I mean,
to the other team.
2-3 times.
Hey, but look, like these Raiders games, man. Like, even if you look at Raiders games over the past couple of years, man, Raiders games are ending 21-14 when the Raiders win. You know what I'm saying? So you give Derek Carr a competent defense, and you just let him throw to some weapons. I think there's no doubt that team could make the NFC Championship again and even make the Super Bowl. I think a 49ers with Derek Carr, or really anybody that's not going to get hurt, is great. But you add Trey Lance into the mix, he's going to be running the ball a lot. Like I definitely see them scheming up quarterback runs and stuff like that. You know, Kyle Shanahan loves to run the ball. Like, I definitely see them scheming up, them running plays with the quarterback. I could see Trey Lance getting hurt again. I mean, he's already been hurt. He didn't play a lick in college because he was hurt the whole time. Like, I don't think they have anybody in the room right now, anybody in the organization that can confidently tell you, I'm gonna go play you guys 20 games next year. Nobody. So I think they need to go get somebody. I think they need to trade Purdy. I think they need to trade Garoppolo. I think they need to trade Lance. That's it. Clean house and get you somebody comp. I thought it should have been Tom Brady until he retired, but
that would have been perfect.
That would have been perfect.
He was a Niners fan too.
If they got Tom Brady, there's no doubt they win the Super Bowl. No doubt.
Man, tell him that, bro. He might leave his family again, come play for him, man.
Do y'all think Tom Brady's really done forever?
Yeah.
Forever.
He's done.
Absolutely, yeah.
You don't think like a Michael Jordan third out of retirement?
God.
Nah,
Then it's just for attention.
Yeah,
It's just
honestly.
gonna be yeah.
Now, I do think when you brought up attention, I do think Aaron Rodgers is doing his like consideration for
Mhm.
attention because he a diva.
I think Rodgers plays one more year at least. At
One?
least
I,
one.
I think he plays two.
Probably.
2, 3.
I think especially now, like, certain people, I think like Tom Brady especially, sometimes you see them, especially in a big game, and you just crumble. I mean, you've seen it all the time. Like, teams see Tom Brady in the playoffs, it's fourth quarter, you've got a lead, and they just crumble. They just fall apart. I think that's what Aaron Rodgers did every time he saw Tom Brady. So now that Tom's not in the league, he doesn't have anybody that he sees and is like, oh my God.
He's the big dog.
He's the big dog on
Aaron Rodgers is
every
the big dog now.
game. You look across that sideline, it's nobody that's a bigger dog than you. Like, you're Aaron Rodgers.
From Aaron Rodgers, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Man, there is one thing he's scared of. It's called the NFC Championship game.
Every year, almost every year.
He's won one in what, his entire career?
Yeah.
And how many has he been to? How many? Like
NFC Championship games?
Yeah.
4.
4?
Yeah.
And then it seems like he loses to
Maybe
49ers.
5.
He always loses to the 49ers, it seems.
Yeah. He always, at some point in the playoffs, I mean, he's getting knocked out by the Niners. It's ridiculous. Even back in the day, like 2014, 15, like, getting knocked out by the Niners every single year, man.
He lost to the Seahawks in the most ridiculous way possible.
That, I was watching the highlights for that game the other day. That was the most ridiculous comeback I've ever seen in my life, bro. I mean, everything went the Seahawks way in the second half, bro. Everything. Man, I would have been pissed off as a Packers fan. I would have never watched football again.
Man, as a fan of Russell Wilson, bro, in that first half, man, I was in my house. I turned the TV off, man.
I would have too. I'm not watching that game. Man, it's been a really good week for sports, man. I mean, we saw. Did y'all see that those games the other night? I think it was 2 nights ago at this point. But LeBron, LaMelo, and Jokic triple-double all in the same night, bro.
Yep.
And you know the craziest thing? I bet on LaMelo and LeBron to get triple-doubles, man. But they were separate parlays. Neither of them hit. Kind of sucked, man. I bet on LaMelo, though. LaMelo did cash me out. He had a great game. But I knew, man, he's been having a string of terrible games since he came back from injury. Mm-hmm. And I knew Giannis and the Bucks, LaMelo always plays good against good teams, man. He might play terrible against bad teams, but he'll play good against a good team.
He will put up numbers.
He'll put up numbers against a good team. He wants to win those type of games, man. And so he does. He goes for it, definitely. Man, you seen I want to do a blind reveal actually to you guys, okay?
All right.
So I'm going to read you 2 guys' different stats for their season. And I want you to tell me, I'll tell you who the first player is, okay? The first player is LeBron this season, okay? LeBron 2022-2023. LeBron is averaging 30.2 points, 51% shooting, 8.5 rebounds per game, 7.1 assists per game on 36.4 minutes per game. He's 38 years old, LeBron James. All right, now tell me who this other player is, okay?
All right.
This player averages 26.8 points per game, 57% from the field. So less points per game, higher field goal percentage though. 8 rebounds per game, 0.5 less. 7.3 assists, about the same. 37.9 minutes per game, about the same. So less points per game, 26.8. Less rebounds, 8.0. Same amount of assists per game.
Is that player Giannis?
Nah. That sounds like LeBron a couple years ago.
That is LeBron James 10 years ago.
10 years ago?
That is Miami Heat LeBron
Sounds
James.
like it.
LeBron is averaging better numbers right now than he was in what people would say is prime LeBron age. LeBron is averaging better stats in every single category.
But you got to look at this too, though. What was his field goal percentage when he was 38? It was 51 versus 57 10 years ago, right?
Mm-hmm.
And then you also got to look at the style, the pace of the game, who he's playing with. He's on the Lakers right now in 2023. NBA pace is probably highest it's ever been since like the 80s.
Yeah.
And he has nobody to his second highest scorer sometimes. It's not even Westbrook.
No.
Sometimes it's Dennis Schroeder.
I was gonna say Dennis Schroeder, bro. Dennis Schroeder, Austin Reeves, like
he has to shoot.
He has to. He definitely does have to.
But then 10 years ago, he playing with D Wade.
Yeah.
He was falling off a little bit, but he was still kind of in his prime.
But no, imagine this though. If he had more players, he would just rack up those assists,
The assists
and then
would go
the
up,
field goal percentage would just go higher because they're gonna have to double team that other player. So I think LeBron is still doing an amazing job at what 38 years old.
38 years
38
old.
years old.
He's doing a great. He's doing like an all-time great job.
Yeah.
But my thing is too, we gotta look at the other side of the ball too. He's not putting as much effort on defense as he was 10 years ago.
Definitely not. Definitely not.
10 years ago, LeBron
was a lockdown. I mean, you're not getting buckets on
He should have
LeBron
been
10
Defensive
years
Player
ago,
of the Year.
bro.
Marc Gasol did not deserve that award.
LeBron was a lockdown.
How do you
bro.
win Defensive Player of the Year? You second team all defense. What sense does that make?
Hey, all right. So I'm gonna ask you guys a question. I want your answer, and that's it. I don't want any talk about it. We'll talk about it a different day, okay? I just want your answer. Greatest NBA player of all time. LeBron James.
Michael Jordan.
Okay, that's it. I don't want to hear no explanation. I don't want to hear nothing. I just wanted to hear you guys be wrong out loud.
I have to rep
LeBron James needs one more ring.
I think LeBron. I don't even want to. We'll talk about it another day. I don't know.
Look, bro. I was born in the 90s, 99. I got rep for the old people, bro. Michael Jordan's the GOAT.
You know, I was thinking about this today, and this sounds really morbid, okay? But hear me out, man. I think a lot of the time the Mike versus LeBron debate is, oh, but you didn't see Michael Jordan. Oh, but you didn't watch Michael Jordan. You didn't see him play ball. What happens in 50 years when everybody that watched Michael Jordan is dead? What is the argument? Because he's got less all-time points, less all-time rebounds, less all-time steals, less all-time assists. Who knows where the ring count ends, but if he does get the rings count, he'll have it by 2. So he's worse in every single stat category imaginable. LeBron was better when he was older, and when he got to that age, LeBron was better. LeBron put up more points, more steals, more assists, more rebounds, more of everything.
Just like what you said. Just like what you said. We don't gotta talk about this.
You're right. 'Cause I'm getting too passionate about it.
We could also flip that on you. We could flip that back to you.
What's that?
Well, Tom Brady and Patrick Mahomes. Who do you think better between those two?
Right now, I'll tell. Right now, I'll tell you it's Tom Brady. Right now, it's Tom Brady.
Right now,
it's Tom Brady.
Tom Brady to Bill Russell today. I want to get back to that. Like, that's so disrespectful.
No. Hear me out, bro. Because it's like, let's think about the comparison, okay?
All right.
Bill Russell, by no means, is a better athlete than Michael Jordan, but he's got more rings for sure. Tom Brady, by no means, is a better athlete than Pat Mahomes. Pat Mahomes can do everything that made Tom Brady great, and he can scramble, and he can throw the ball 80 yards down the field on a dime. He can do everything that Tom could do, and he could do the things Tom cannot do. And so I think that makes Patrick Mahomes the better all-time talent than Tom Brady. But Tom Brady's got the rings. Tom Brady's got the accolades. So I think if you're talking about who is the better player all time, you got to say Tom because he's got the numbers. But once Mahomes gets close in the numbers, I think his talent overtakes the fact that Tom Brady has the numbers.
I still don't like the comparison though. Bill Russell,
I respect that though, because Bill Russell might
that.
be, I don't know, he might be top 10 all time.
Right, that's what I'm saying. Like, you just compared Tom Brady to
Come on, man. We ain't gonna disrespect Bill like that.
You're right.
Maybe
I
top
mean,
10. I know he played against plumbers, but come on.
He still got 11 rings, man. You can't ever take that away from him, man. But let's get into some hype talk, man. Let's talk about next week, man, because it's gonna be a good week. I guess maybe we won't talk about next week because it's the freaking Pro Bowl. But let's talk about 2 weeks from now, okay? Super Bowl. Chiefs, Eagles, 2 number 1 seeds. All year, the 2 best teams in the NFL. I mean, maybe some people would have said the Bills were the best team in the AFC or whatever. But record-wise, number 1 seed versus number 1 seed, the 2 best teams in the NFL, man. Well, I don't know. What are your guys' thoughts going into the game, man? I mean, let's just start here. Who's winning?
The Philadelphia Eagles.
The Philadelphia Eagles.
I can't believe y'all, bro.
Man.
Eagles are winning, y'all.
Fly, Eagles, fly.
Just to let y'all know, the line right now is at -1.5 in the Eagles' favor. You can cash out Chiefs money line +105.
If you want to lose your money, go ahead and do that.
If you want to double up +105, I'm finna pull out FanDuel right now and put a rack on it. Like,
hey, do it.
Chiefs
on podcast.
Nah, don't do it. Don't do it. The whole squad has not been practicing. The whole squad has not been practicing. All right.
I'm not. So look, here's the thing, bro. Whole squad not been practicing. Right? Pat Mahomes with his top 3 wide receivers out. Okay, imagine if Jalen Hurts lost AJ Brown, lost Devontae Smith, lost I don't know who's number 3, Quez Watkins. If he lost his top 3 receivers, do you think there's any chance that the Eagles win this game? Any chance at all?
They're
No
not.
I'll be
chance.
honest.
No
I'm
chance.
gonna be honest.
You think they could win this game?
I think it's possible. You want to know why?
Why?
The Eagles are one of the best rushing teams of all time.
That's
I got a stats right here, bro. Where is it at? It says first of all, just against the 49ers, who the 49ers, what were they? They were the number one run defense?
Yeah.
Against the number one run defense in the league, right? They had 148 yards, 3.5 yards per carry, 4 touchdowns. And ESPN showed a stat, most rushing touchdowns by a team in a season with 38. That record stood for 98 years.
I saw that. I was looking at the team. I was like, what? I was like, I'd never heard of that team in my entire
Yellow
life.
Jackets.
I was like, who are these fucking Yellow Jackets? I've never heard of them.
The best part about it is, Jalen Hurts only threw for 120 yards.
That's true.
That's not happening.
Do you think that was because he didn't have to, or do you think it really was because he kind of couldn't? Like,
It's
He
'cause
didn't
he didn't
have to.
He didn't have to.
to.
I don't know though. Do you think he looked great out there? Hurts. I mean, on those 127. What'd you say it was?
125. I think,
125 yards. Did he look good on all of them pass
Jalen
attempts,
Hurts
bro?
is the offense.
He
He doesn't
I mean,
have to
I'm
look
not
good
gonna lie.
every single time. He's an MVP. He's the
He's-
offense.
he's
He's the
the
whole offense.
Second place for MVP. But yeah, I'm with you on that though.
He's
I'm
the
with you
most
on that.
valuable player.
the most
Not the best
valuable
player,
player.
most valuable.
You really think he's the most valuable player to his team?
I think he
He
deserves
is,
that
he
award.
is.
I think he deserves that award. They're not going to give it to him, but I think he deserves it.
I disagree wholeheartedly. I think that Mahomes is by far the most valuable player on his team. I think that when Sky Moore and Marcus Kemp are your number 1 and 2 receiver going out there, and you still beat the freaking Bengals, you're
that's the thing.
you're a great player.
That's why I think they're not going to win the Super Bowl.
You don't think
because
they're
they
gonna-
don't have the wide receiver. They don't
I
have the
think-
wide receivers.
I think that Tony and what's his name? Tony's probably
Juju.
not going to play.
No.
Miko might, and then I think it all depends on their status.
What
come
about
game
Juju?
time. If Juju, Tony, and Miko Hardman all play, I think there's no chance we lose. I would bet my life on the Chiefs. I bet everything I own on the Chiefs. I'm putting my car on the Chiefs.
You know who on the other side?
If Miko Hardman alone plays, I'm betting my life on the Chiefs.
Miko Hardman alone?
If Miko alone plays,
What
out of
is
those
Miko
three
Hardman
players,
going to do against
Miko-
big play Slay?
No, look.
What would he do against big play Slay?
Miko's not gonna get him downfield, bro. But Miko's gonna get him on jet sweeps. He's gonna get him on slants. He's faster than Slay. Slay's what, 30? Like
830 is still cold. Oh,
he
bro.
knows he's
lineman
cold.
is gonna stop
He's
that.
cold. He's cold. And I'm not gonna lie, Pacheco's not getting nothing this game.
No.
Like that. The
D-lineman's
Eagles
crazy.
defense is great. Okay, I'll give you that. Okay, Eagles got the number 1 defense in the NFL, the number 2 defense in the NFL. 49ers.
Got the
Last time
number
we seen the
one
49ers, we put up what 41 on them. It looked easy out there. So I don't think
We talking about it, but we talking about the Eagles secondary versus the 49ers secondary. Too,
Okay,
so
no,
it's-
you're totally right about that. But look back over the past 5 years. Mahomes against top 5 defenses is averaging 315 yards against top 5 defenses.
That's impressive.
He's averaging almost 3 touchdowns against top 5 defenses. So the defense you throw out there, it doesn't matter. Mahomes is better than your defense. It doesn't matter. You saw like last year, he had that little stint where he was throwing picks and he was trying to throw the ball deep every time and it just wasn't working. He was throwing a ton of picks. Your defense doesn't matter. Mahomes is better than you. He's
What
better
about-
than your defense. He's better than your defensive coordinator. He's better than all 11 people on the other side of the ball.
What about the against the 2020 Bucks?
That's not fair. That's not fair.
How's that not fair?
He didn't have no protection, bro. That wasn't Mahomes. I mean, okay, I guess that was true. That's exactly what I'm talking about. That's 1 versus 11. Like, that was a tough scene. I mean, we lost all 5 of our starting offensive linemen. But we have all 5 of our starting offensive linemen. And if you watch that game against the Bucks, if Mahomes had some time in the pocket and if his receivers could catch, we had a game. I mean, we had a game on our hands.
Mhm.
Mahomes was out of the pocket, falling sideways, parallel to the ground, throwing dots and hitting running backs in the face, and they couldn't catch it, bro. And so think about it. That was our last Super Bowl experience. Don't you think that the Chiefs remember that? They know what it feels like to lose in the biggest stage, bro. They've been there. They have lost the biggest game. Imagine you lose the biggest game and you get there again.
They might do it again.
No fucking way I'm
Man.
losing the Super Bowl twice, bro.
You know-
I'm not gonna lie.
Look, bro. You seen Stephon Diggs on the sideline looking at the victory parade?
Yeah, you
2
seen him
years
do
in a row
that.
like this.
You seen him do that 2 years in a row, man.
It's gonna happen to y'all too. I'm
no,
sorry.
it's not happening to us.
Look,
bro.
all I'm hearing
telling
from your
you.
argument, bro. All I'm hearing from your argument I'm taking Patrick Mahomes over in yards. I'm taking his over in touchdowns. And I'm taking Eagles money line.
I'm rocking with you on that.
Man, I don't know, man. What's y'all top 5 quarterbacks all time, man? Top 5 all time.
All time?
All time. In order, if you can.
All right, so number 1, gotta go Cash Money Tom Brady.
Of course. If Tom Brady's not number 1, you're wrong.
You just a hater at that.
Yeah,
I'm
you're
not
literally a hater.
My number 2 though, in which 2 through 5, that's when people start discussion. My number 2, Peyton Manning. Peyton Manning, I feel like he's like the best quarterback in the aspect of he was the only dude that he was the playbook. Like in that big forehead he got, he remembered the entire play. He's the sheriff for a reason. Like I think they said those Denver years, like his offensive coordinator, I don't think he was calling like the plays like at all. No. Like it was all Peyton Manning.
It was all Peyton,
which is insane because if you ever look at the quarterbacks like a playbook, to remember all that, to remember where the X receiver, the wide receiver, to remember where everybody goes on every single play, that is crazy.
Yeah,
you have to know your stuff. Number 3 though. Number 3, I think I gotta go with Joe Montana. The reason why I go with Joe Montana though is just before Brady, a lot of people considered him number 1 because of the rings.
Definitely.
What I mean? And plus,
100%.
I think he never lost the Super Bowl, right? 4-0.
Mm-hmm.
Wow.
4-0.
It's crazy. Even though he had who I think is the greatest non-QB of all time in Jerry Rice. So
yeah.
Like that, I think still
I think Marshawn Lynch is the greatest non-QB. But
hey, I love beast mode, boy. That's the reason I'm playing Seahawks, man. But anyway, number 4, just off pure looking back at the clips of it and like looking at the stats, and then just like I almost want to say folklore because like you hear the older generation talking about it. Dan Marino was a beast. He was cold out there, man. And then my number 5, Lamar Jackson. No, I'm playing. I gotta go with Patrick Mahomes. Even though it's still early in his career, bro, I could just see it. He's gonna inch up closer and closer. And I feel like why wait now to put him in the top 5 when it's gonna happen? Just put him in there.
That's what they did with Mike, with Bill Russell. Mike retired with 3 rings. They already put him as the GOAT. Might as well do it now. Vince, top 5, bro.
Tom Brady, Peyton Manning, which is easy. I feel like those 2 together.
Yeah.
Let's see.
Imagine 2 of the best quarterbacks of all time playing at the same time.
Right.
It's crazy
with
stuff.
Eli
to watch.
Right. Top 3 is gonna be Patrick Mahomes. I'm gonna put Mahomes there because I'm gonna just go and say it early. Once he retires, he might be top 2 once he retires.
He might be top 2, top 1. Like, for real. Like,
actually.
Yeah. I was a little nervous for a while as a Mahomes fan. When he got that first ring 3 years in, or 2 years in, I was like, he's on the path. Like, he's on the way. But then he kind of cooled down a little bit, and I was like, if we don't get a ring in the next 2-3 years, no chance you're the GOAT. But now we're back. It's still on the table. To be the best ever.
My top 4 is Dan Marino. Top 5, Aaron Rodgers.
I love it.
I don't like Aaron
Marino over Montana. I respect it. I feel like a student of the game when it comes to arguments like this, especially with football. Because I like watching old players in their film and like just watching their highlight tapes and stuff like that. And I'm not gonna lie, Dan Marino could spin that mug. Like,
he sling it.
He could sling that football. I'm not gonna lie, Dan Marino was like that. But the top 5 in order, the correct order, which I'm not gonna lie, is almost what you said. So we almost have the same list. Tom, number 1. I'm gonna read you guys some stats, okay? Tom is number 1 all time. Tom is 251 and 83 in his career. 251 and 83.
That's more than 4 NFL teams, right?
Literally, yeah. Excuse me. Tom Brady threw for 89,305 yards. You'll start to see how much that is when I start to read everybody else's list. 89,305 yards. He threw 649 touchdowns to 212 picks. So almost a 4-0 touchdown interception ratio. He was this is another crazy one, which you'll hear how crazy it is when I read the other ones. Tom Brady was 35-12 in the playoffs. 35 wins, 12 losses in the playoffs.
A winner.
This is what's crazy enough to me, bro. 12 losses in the playoffs. When you lose in the playoffs, your playoff run is over. That means you've been to the playoffs 12 times and lost, but you've got 35 wins out of at least 12 trips. That's the craziest part to me. Tom Brady obviously has 7 rings. He's a 3-time MVP and a 5-time Super Bowl MVP. Now, this is something I want to bring up real quick. This is something that I was talking about the other day. I think that the most valuable piece of hardware in the NFL is the Super Bowl MVP, not the regular season MVP. I think regular season MVP can be very biased, and I think it can be very like, what did your team do? What did, like stuff like that. It's not super precise. But if you were the best player on the best team that won the biggest game, you're the best player. You're the best player in the league. Like
Super Bowl 48, Malcolm Smith, Seattle Seahawks.
But I mean, as somebody that watched the game and is a fan of the team, do you think he deserved it over other players on the team?
In that game?
In that game?
No.
That's what I'm saying.
I'm gonna be honest, bro. Like, well, that game particularly, it was such a spanking. It was like 43-8. It could have gone to anybody on that team. I feel like they just gave it to. Yeah. I feel like they just gave it out just to give it.
Right, exactly.
If Beast Mode didn't start playing in the second half, it would have went to Beast Mode.
Yeah, definitely. I think that even the nuance kind of travels to the NBA, not as much, but like in the NFL, there's so much that goes on with the MVP, and it's mostly a quarterback award. But the Super Bowl MVP, it really could be anybody. I mean, didn't Cooper Kupp get it last year, or was it Matt Stafford?
I can't remember, but
there's plenty of non-quarterback players that have gotten Super Bowl MVP. Super Bowl MVP is who's the best player on the best team that played in the biggest game and showed up. And I think that should be considered the best player in the NFL.
I mean, almost went to Odell last year, if we being real.
Yeah, for real. If he didn't get hurt, he was going crazy. I'm not gonna lie. But so I really see a lot of value in Super Bowl MVPs, and that's why I added it to everybody's stats. So let me keep moving. That's number 1, Tom Brady, all time. 5 Super Bowl MVPs. That means he took his team to the biggest game, and he played the biggest out of anybody on the best team in the biggest game. Peyton Manning went 187-79 in his career. That's why I say Tom is so crazy. Tom had 251 wins in his career. Peyton had 187.
And Peyton played from 98 to 2015.
Exactly.
That is crazy.
He had a long career. 71,940 yards, which is 18,000 less than Tom Brady. 539 touchdowns, which is 110 less than Tom Brady. 251 picks, which is 40 more than Tom Brady. 14-13 in the playoffs. So he had more losses than Tom Brady in his career in the playoffs. Now, I'm saying all these things, it makes it sound like Peyton Manning is bad. I'm putting him as my second greatest quarterback of all time. But Peyton obviously won 2 rings, 5-time regular season MVP, and then 1 Super Bowl MVP out of his 2. That's number 2. Number 3, which will be right now he's a tentative number 3, but he will be cemented as number 3 in 2 weeks, and that's Patrick Mahomes. Pat Mahomes is 64, and get this, okay? Mahomes has been playing for 6 years in this NFL. 64-16, 16 losses in a 16-game season in 6 years.
It's crazy.
I mean,
it's like Shaq when they put him on the top like 50 or top 100 players, and he's only there for
like 4 years. Yeah.
Right. Yeah.
Mahomes has played 102 regular season games. I mean, if you take out that 1 year he got hurt, he's probably played about 95. 95 regular season games. He's lost 16 of them.
Man.
16. He's got 24,241 yards. So he's about a quarter of the way to Brady in about the quarter of his career span. So on kind of that path. 192 touchdowns to 49 picks. 10-3 in the playoffs. 10-3 in the playoffs. Peyton Manning had 14 playoff wins. Patrick Mahomes has 10 in 6 years. He's got 1 ring. He's got 1 MVP. He's got 1 Super Bowl MVP, which kind of want to sidetrack back to the game of the Chiefs-Eagles. No MVP has ever won the Super Bowl, ever, in the history of the league. Top 2 NFL MVP frontrunners right now, Mahomes and Jalen Hurts.
Jalen Hurts gonna get.
Do y'all think that the narrative reigns true and that the MVP wins the Super Bowl? Or do you think maybe Mahomes wins it and loses, Hurts wins it and loses? What do y'all think?
It's gonna be a glorious day for you when Mahomes gets the MVP trophy. It's gonna be a glorious day for everybody else when the Eagles win that Super Bowl.
Honestly, bro, I wouldn't even be surprised. Because like I said, a stat's a stat. NFL has been around for 100 years, basically. And no MVP has ever won the Super Bowl. It's really hard for me to believe that that's going to change. But I think if there's anybody that can change that stigma, is Pat Mahomes.
Mahomes got to do it.
Mahomes can win the MVP and win the Super Bowl. I think it definitely could happen.
Who was the closest to having that happen? Tom Brady when he played against the Eagles?
Tom Brady did it again, or was close against the Eagles. Matt Ryan was close when he played the Patriots in the Super Bowl. Matt Ryan actually won MVP that year with a 4,000 passing yard season, which was kind of, I mean, it was
respect to Matty Ice, man. That's a Hall of Fame quarterback.
Matty Ice, that's a Hall of Fame quarterback. I agree. I don't know, maybe. If Phillip Rivers is a Hall of Fame quarterback, Matty Ice is a Hall of Fame quarterback.
They both Hall of Fame.
Yeah, you think so?
To me, yeah, both Hall of Fame.
That.
Even see, I'm a big Eli guy too. I think Eli in the Hall of Fame.
I think Eli's in the Hall of Fame. You have to. I mean, he beat the Patriots twice in the Super Bowl. I mean,
right, but you continue.
Yeah. So number 4, I have Montana. Obviously, like you said, Montana was number 1 before Brady came around, and then kind of the league changed, man. But 127 and 65 in Montana's career, 40,000 yards, which is 30,000 less than Peyton, and 50,000 less than Tom. 50,000 less yards than Tom Brady for Joe Montana. 50,000.
Hey, 2 different types of leagues though.
I mean,
running league and a passing league.
That's valid, but I mean, whose career did Joe Montana make? A wide receiver. I don't know who played running back for them 49er teams at all.
I feel like
maybe I'm putting mad disrespect on somebody's name right now.
We definitely are.
But all I know is Joe Montana won 4 rings with Jerry Rice, and those are 2 of the top 5 players at their position all the time, with 50,000 less yards than Tom Brady.
You know what's crazy about that?
More than twice as many.
Now that I think about it, because you know how Jerry Rice has like the receiving yards record by like a ridiculous amount. Like his margin probably won't be topped.
It's kind of like what people thought Kareem's record was. But anyway.
It's kind of crazy. But he did all that, and I think he has like 22,000 or something like that. I forgot what it was.
Yeah, it's high.
And you said Joe Montana has how many passing yards?
40. So half of them are to Jerry Rice.
He on Madden, bro, running PA crossing every play. Touchdown.
Just bombing it up to Jerry Rice. I didn't even think about that, bro. That's crazy. At least a quarter of his yards got to be to Jerry Rice, if not more.
I mean, Jerry Rice did have Steve Young, too.
Yeah.
And then, something crazy about Jerry Rice, he retired in like 2005, which is nuts.
Yeah, didn't he retire with the Raiders or the Seahawks?
I think it was either the Seahawks or the Broncos. I think Broncos training camp,
Damn.
Which is crazy.
Training camp, he was like, I can't do this no more.
But yeah, bro, that man, Joe, for you to be the GOAT, and that's why I kind of understand, like, where Kareem is coming from. You know how Kareem Abdul-Jabbar has become, like, the biggest hater in the NBA recently?
Yeah.
Because he hating on
Definitely.
LeBron. I feel like if most of my life, if somebody said I was number 1, or everybody just assuming that I was the best quarterback of all time, and all of a sudden, not 1, not 2, but 3, there's 3 quarterbacks now that's considered better than Joe Montana. If I was Joe Montana, I'd be a little bit hurt, not gonna lie.
I definitely would, man. I kind of want to, okay, my number 5 is Aaron Rodgers, because I love Aaron Rodgers' talent.
God.
But I want to go back to this Kareem thing, man, because I want to talk about LeBron, because I love talking about LeBron. Man, there's been 2 players in the last 65 years to hold the scoring title. 2 players in 65 years. Wilt Chamberlain won it. Held it to the mid-'80s where Kareem won it. Kareem took over the top number 1 in scoring in NBA history and then played for 8 more years after he took over number 1. So he honestly kind of like cemented himself. Mm-hmm. That was in, I think, 86, 85, something like that.
Yeah.
So you're telling me for 40 years, nobody came close. Nobody came close to breaking his record. Here comes LeBron. Like a steam train. Almost guaranteed to break it at this point. Like the chosen one. LeBron is going to be the 3rd person in 70 years to hold this title. Let me tell you another thing that y'all might think is a little crazy. Okay, and when it comes to career NBA points, Paul Pierce is closer to Michael Jordan than Michael Jordan is to LeBron James.
Man, hey, that is insane. You know what's the craziest thing about that?
What's that?
that still doesn't make him better. It's crazy, bro. Like,
Okay, 1-on-1 to 11. Who's winning? Mike or LeBron?
1-on-1 to 11.
1-on-1 to 11. Mike or LeBron?
All right, so we talking about prime versus prime.
I'm talking about 6'6" Mike versus 6'9" Bron. I'm talking about 195, 210 Michael Jordan versus 235, 240 LeBron
my
James.
thing is about that. You talking about 1-on-1 basketball team sport, isn't that?
You're right. Okay.
But the reason why I say, because most people like they play 2K and they just assume since all LeBron's bigger, I'm just gonna drive and give Michael Jordan to the paint.
Nah, Mike was a good defender.
Good.
You're right. That's Depoy.
Mike is one of 3 guards in NBA history to win Defensive Player of the Year.
You're right,
Bro. And plus, Michael Jordan. You know how everybody talks about Kobe, how skilled Kobe is. Like Michael Jordan is the most skilled basketball player ever in terms of skill. He could give it to you anyway. He could give it to you anyway.
He'll give you the points. He'll give you the assists. He'll give you the rebounds. He'll give you the blocks, the steals. Whatever.
Imagine getting a nickname Black Jesus.
Black Jesus. Hey, imagine, bro, when Kobe was a rookie, bro. Remember that story they told him? They said, "Don't look him in the eye." Like, who else got that? Who else got that intimidation? They don't say that about LeBron.
They don't say that about LeBron, man. But hey, it's all right. LeBron gonna hold every major stat category in the entire NBA, and they still gonna be disrespecting him. All right.
Look,
sometimes there's nothing you could do, man. I mean, like,
I'm gonna be honest, bro. This is gonna sound crazy too. I think first of all, there's an evolution in sports, right?
Mm-hmm.
There's people evolve, but I think there's one person in the NBA, if they start winning now, or if he gets a jump shot, it's over.
Say it.
If Giannis Antetokounmpo gets a jump shot,
he could be the greatest ever.
He could be the greatest ever. There's no way you can stop that man.
He could be the greatest ever to ever do it. I mean, if he can hit 2 threes a game, 3 threes a game, there's no doubt. There's no doubt. Because he's gonna blow all these other. See, that's the thing, man. Is I think LeBron is the first person to pass Kareem. In the next 15, 20 years, there's going to be a lot of players that are going to pass Kareem, I think.
And people are scoring.
I think Luka's going to pass Kareem. I think that, what's his name? Like, Giannis is going to pass Kareem. I think there's a plethora of people that could pass Kareem and stuff like that. But
bringing up Luka, man, I got something to get off my chest, man. Cause I seen it on social media. It's making me mad. They talking about some Luka today is better than 2007 LeBron. I want to tell y'all, absolutely not.
No chance.
You know
how I feel.
Come on. You talking about Luka can't lead a team that had Kristaps Porzingis at one point, Christian Wood now, and Spencer. You notice how I'm like naming all these like role players like Spencer Dinwiddie, Tim Hardaway Jr. He can't lead that team.
Exactly.
How can he lead Larry Hughes, Daniel Gibson?
Yo, number 2
James
is
Jones.
Zadronis Ilgauskas.
Old Zadronis. Not even all-stars.
Bro.
And then people like to bring up, Mo Williams wasn't on the team yet.
Yeah.
Luka cannot lead that team to the Spurs. He's not getting past the Pistons.
No chance.
He might not even get out the second round.
No, not a chance, bro. I'm not going to lie. Especially in the 07 NBA, bro. It's no chance.
It's a stupid argument because Luka's not really like physical like 2007 LeBron.
Right.
He was an unstoppable force.
Exactly.
Yeah.
James Harden walks so Luka could run.
I'm not gonna lie. I was thinking the same thing, bro. I've been thinking about James Harden a lot, man. I mean, that's a dog, and it sucks to see him kind of on the falling action of his career. I feel like. I mean, he's still getting buckets. He's still putting up. He's still putting up plenty of stat lines, but he's not 2016 James. He's not 20.
He just doesn't have to do it.
No. Yeah, you're right. I mean,
he
really
doesn't have to do it. He can do it. He can do it.
He can still do it.
Do you think he could lead that team to a real playoff run? No Embiid.
No. Playoff run? No. But he leads to the playoffs? Yes.
Yeah.
Maybe. But do you think he'll have as much success? Like, you think if you implanted this James Harden onto the 2016 Rockets, it's the same Rockets?
No, it's just tough to see because he doesn't do his moves that he would do like in.
That's what I'm saying. He's still getting buckets and everything. He's just getting older. I mean, it's just part of life. He's still getting his thing. I mean, I feel like any player that's at the top of their game, they can do what they want until their body literally won't let them. Bro.
I think James Harden still got it, just like what.
I think he's still good. I don't know. Is he top 5 like he used to be in the league?
He doesn't need to be top 5 to be winning. That's
you think he could though? Do you think he could be a top 5 player in the league right now if he needed to be, if he wanted to?
It depends on the offense.
Yeah, I feel like it depends on his.
Depends on the offense.
As somebody who betting on James Harden, bro, James Harden not hitting 5 threes a game no more. It's
not anymore. Hey. He hit like 6 the other day. Though.
I'll say who was cooking the other day, wasn't he? Yeah.
Yeah, I mean he'll have his days,
and
man.
he usually a guaranteed double. So
yeah, unless I bet on him.
You just betting on the wrong day.
That's what kind of I want to get to before our time runs out, man. I want to get into the cash in, cash out, man. I want to talk about last week, man. We'll talk about the cash in, man. Dakari, you making any big money last week on the bets, man? Let's cash in, man. Tell the people what you won, man.
Hey, when y'all refer to me, man, when y'all see me in person, I want y'all to call me Money Man. That's my life. 4 days in a row, 4 W's. Crazy.
Must be nice.
All 150 or more at least. It's crazy. Except last night. Last night was terrible. I had 8 parlays last night because it was 8 games. Missed by 1 or 2 every parlay.
So you'd be putting in same game parlays.
Same game parlays,
okay.
Yeah.
Okay. I like to diversify. I'll find like one really juicy nugget from one game or maybe a couple of games and then parlay them together. Like
you said nugget?
Bro,
Warriors money line tonight.
They play the Nuggets?
Yep.
Warriors money line tonight, man. Vince, you make any big bets this week? I know you be hitting a lot, bro. I'm not gonna lie. Like you'll just pull up and be like, "Yeah, I hit this last night."
He won't say nothing.
Cashed 200
cashed out that one last night.
Man,
look, quick 3-leggers or stuff like that.
Yeah, only when I'm betting, you only gotta hit 2 players. Just pick 2 players, favorite ones, and then just bet like put 20 on.
Bro, just make some money, man. It's not. Sometimes
it's not a race,
I get caught into trying to hit the lottery tickets, man, and then you just caught losing money, money, man.
You gotta stack your bread up, man.
Cause I sent it both to you, man. I thought it was the lock of the century. I had Pacheco rushing yards. I had I don't even remember what the other leg was. Pacheco rushing yards, something else, and then I had Chiefs money line. Then that did not hit. The only thing that hit in the bet was Chiefs money line. But I did have a lock last week. It was Samaje Perine, and his yards line was at 15. So he had, I think, like 17 or 18. And so I bet on Perine yards and a touchdown. Cashed me out, bro. $100, $340. Quick, easy money, bro. That was beautiful. Like you said though, quick 2-legger, bro. Just get something out there, man. You don't need to bet the whole house on some plus 1.1 million odds. Which, by the way, I forget what games are playing, but it's like Jokic triple double. There's a couple guys that are really really potential triple double players tonight. So look out for that, man. Look out for that, definitely.
Man.
So, man, we made some cash, though, last week, man. So, thinking about that, man, looking forward, y'all got anything? Y'all got anything for tonight? Anything? Especially come Super Bowl, bro. Do you have anything that you're looking at in the Super Bowl that you're really confident about?
Super Bowl wise, not really. I'm just trying to enjoy the game. I mean, I do have a money line parlay for the Eagles.
Right. Eagles money line, baby.
I can't believe y'all out here losing y'all money publicly on YouTube. Finna be losing y'all money in front of everybody.
It's public because we've been winning more than you have recently.
Yeah, that's crazy. You put some people on to betting and then they start winning more money than you, bro. That shit is evil. I feel like I should get 10% out of every parlay for putting y'all on to the app, man.
Nah, you ain't gonna get no reparations from me. Nah. Hey, you know what's crazy about that?
What's that?
Yesterday, my mom and dad, they was talking about something. They said, they walked up to me. They said, "Yeah, pretty soon you finna make this your career." I said, "Yeah, that's the plan."
Trust me, bro. I've thought about that a couple of times, bro. Like starting up like a sports book or like even like I've been getting money from other people to bet in their stead, basically, like just in betting for them, and I take 10%, I get them the rest back, bro, and. Shoot, it's cool because if you lose them the money, it is what it is. Bro. If you win them the money, you send some money back. But
is
if
it
you
really
lose,
your fault?
I'm like, hey, I'm like, it's gambling, bro. You think I'm gonna win every time, bro? I'm sorry, I'm not. I can't see the future, bro. Right. But to be honest with you, DK, especially the way you've been hitting, bro, I could see it, bro.
Man,
I like the way you bet too, man. Like for me, I'm like I said, I'm more of a fine like a plus 100 odds here and there. But you be betting on a bunch of stuff, but it's all almost guaranteed to happen. You be like, I be seeing your parlays to be like Steph 1-3, and I'm like, okay. It's like Jordan Poole 3 assists. I'm like, it's gonna happen though. It's gonna happen though. And so it's like 10 legs, but it's all stuff that's almost guaranteed. Like. I like that. You've been robbing FanDuel recently, bro. I remember he pulled out, he was like, let me show you my bets today. He pulled out his FanDuel account. It said racks in the bottom corner, bro. I said, you've been winning, huh?
I told you, man.
I said, I got 75 cents in my FanDuel account right now.
I'm telling y'all, man. I'm changing my name. My social media handle for me, Cash Money K.
Big money Kari, bro. Like, he been getting money, and I respect that. I really like that, man. I'm going to tell y'all, though, something I really like for the Super Bowl. Y'all might walk out after I say this, man. Miles Sanders under rushing.
Under? The only reason I can see that is because I can see that purely because they use so many running backs, first of all. And plus, I feel like running through that Chiefs D line is not going to be as easy as people think.
Yeah.
But with that said, though, he's still getting some
okay,
yards.
and I will tell you this one. Maybe don't take that because Miles Sanders' rushing total, it's 58.5 yards. There's no way he doesn't hit that. But the Chiefs have a top 5 run defense in the NFL, which a lot of people don't know. And I've been saying it a lot around people. Like I want them to understand the Chiefs' run defense is no joke. We will lock your favorite running back down. When we saw Christian McCaffrey in the 49ers uniform, he had 6 yards. 6 total yards. But at the same time, I won't say we have a terrible secondary, but we don't have a great secondary. We have 3 rookie cornerbacks out of our starting 4. And we're really bad at stopping the pass. But, they play real football the way I play Madden. I'm going to man blitz you every play. You're not going to be able to run the ball, and you're going to have to get the ball out fast. And I think that's just the best way to play football. And so they're not going to be running the ball all over us. That's a guarantee. If Christian McCaffrey, arguably the best running back in the whole league, gets 6 yards against us, we're gonna lock Miles Sanders down. But is AJ Brown gonna absolutely sauce up L'Jarius Sneed, or is
have 2 studs? Is
Devontae Smith gonna cook up Trent McDuffie?
Yes.
Yeah,
I don't even want to watch that.
100%. There's no doubt that they're gonna get wide open deep. And then when Juan Thornhill is your dude that's covering deep, bro, you just never know what's gonna happen. I think that betting on wide receivers in this game is gonna be big. I think there's gonna be a lot of passing. I think that the last time we saw a Super Bowl, the way I envision it is kind of like a 38-35 type Super Bowl, like a really, really good game. Like, do you remember the Chiefs Rams regular season Week 16 game in 2018? It was like 51-48. Like it was probably the best game I've ever watched in my life. And I feel like that's kind of what the Super Bowl is going to be. It's going to be a lot of points, a lot of offense. We will see. But I think in a game that comes down to who can sling that mug better, I'm taking Mahomes.
None of Mahomes' receivers going to catch that ball, and they're going to lock up Kelsey.
That's the thing. They're going to lock up Kelsey. But like I said, we're going to have to talk about this next week for sure. Is Mecole playing? Is Kadarius Toney playing? Is Juju Smith-Schuster playing? If those 3 guys are playing, it's gonna be a long day for the Eagles. I'm not gonna lie. It's gonna be a long day for the Chiefs on defense.
It's gonna be a better game.
It's gonna be good. It's gonna be a great game. It's gonna be a great game. I don't think there's gonna be a lot of running the ball, which is why I think take Miles Sanders under, because I don't think they're gonna be running the ball a lot. But like I said, I really like. I've been betting on Devontae Smith a lot the past 6-7 weeks. He's been going crazy. Once Gardner Minshew started hitting him up a lot, I knew he was legit, because he was open every time for Gardner. So I'm betting on Devontae. I'm betting on him all night long. I might put something on AJ, but I put something on AJ Brown last week, and he did not come through for me. He didn't come through for me the week before either, which kind of disappoints me. But
that's because
they didn't have to throw him.
Yeah, I was like,
they didn't have to throw him the ball. I respect that, but coming off of the week before where I think he had 30 or 40 yards, when you're thinking he's gonna expose the Giants, no, he just hasn't done nothing in the past couple of weeks. So I say take Sanders under. I say take Chiefs money line. I put $100 on the Chiefs money line every single week all year.
Okay, yeah, that makes sense.
Chiefs were 14-3. Made a lot of money putting $100 on the Chiefs money line.
That's smart. I'm not gonna lie, that's smart.
Even if the Chiefs were minus 400, I'm putting $100 on it. I'm getting $140. It's guaranteed money. I'm not changing my strategy. I'm putting $100 on the Chiefs money line, and they're gonna cash me out $205. Patrick Mahomes as an underdog has lost one time. That was against the Bengals last year in the AFC Championship game. That's the only time he's lost as an underdog. I don't see us doing it again. We were an underdog last week. There was no chance we ever lost. There was never a doubt in my mind that we were going to win that game, except the entire fourth quarter. But that's besides the point. I really see us doing some damage this week, bro. Especially Mahomes has 2 weeks to recover from an ankle injury that didn't even really hinder him a ton. I mean, obviously he wasn't running around a whole bunch, but we saw in the last play, if he needed to, he could. And this is the Super Bowl. If he wants to do something, he's going to do it. I don't care if his ankle hurts, if his ankle's about to fall off. If he needs to run 5 yards for a first down, no chance he doesn't pick up that first down. He plays his hearts out. We saw it, like you said, against the Bucs. He's going to play his heart out, even if it's a complete lost game. He's going to play his heart out, put everything on the line to try and will us to a victory. I think it's like if you see Jordan in a championship in the 80s, you put money on the Bulls, man.
You're not gonna see him in a championship in the 80s. See, you fake basketball fan. I knew it.
My bad. In the 90s. My bad. I misspoke. But if you see Mahomes in the 2020s in the Super Bowl, you put your money on him. You put everything you got on him. The whole house, the car, your shoes. I'm selling everything. My next paycheck, I told our boss, I said, don't send it to me. Send it to FanDuel. I want it all on the Chiefs. I want every dollar on the money line.
Man, every time you log into FanDuel, bro, there's this like notification they give you. I don't know if you ever seen it. It's a gambling hotline, man. If you send your whole check, if you send your whole check in to FanDuel, that's a problem.
1-800-GAMBLING. Trust me, I know it. I got them motherfuckers on.
Hey,
Hotline bling.
Before we run out of time, man, live, they announced the reserves. Y'all want to hear them?
For the NBA All-Star game?
NBA All-Star game?
Yeah, let's hear it.
NBA for the West, bro. We got Ja Morant, Shea, Damian Lillard, Jaren Jackson, DeMontis Sabonis, Lauri Markkanen.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
And Paul George.
Laurie Bird. My boy.
Anything y'all disagree with for the West?
I'm not going to lie.
Jaren Jackson.
Who was the starting point guard,
Jaren
Steph?
Jackson is interesting. Huh?
Who was the starting point guard, Steph?
Yeah, Steph.
Okay, that makes sense why John and Dame are reserves. I like it. I like it a lot. I'm not going to lie.
I can't think of who I would rather have than Jaren Jackson, but I feel like I'm forgetting.
There's got to be somebody out there.
It's his defense that got him.
Yeah,
so I respect
that boy
it.
is a block a game.
And then for the East, we got Joel Embiid, Jaylen Brown, Bam. I can't get more than 5 rebounds recently out of bio.
Oh, Bam, put him on the banned list.
Mm-hmm.
Julius Randle, DeMar DeRozan.
Okay, we got a bull.
Drew Holiday.
Wow.
Drew Holiday.
How long was Drew was out for a while? Tyrese made it. Tyrese. That's an all-star, baby. Tyrese Halliburton.
He's not a wannabe anymore.
He's not a wannabe. That's an all-star.
Man. Anything y'all disagree with anything on the East?
I disagree with Tyrese Halliburton being an all-star.
Who would you rather have over Tyrese Halliburton?
Oh man. Wait, is James in there?
James Harden?
Yeah.
Oh, I don't think so.
James is an all-star before Tyrese Halliburton. I'm sorry, Tyrese Halliburton's been hurt. Tyrese Halliburton he sells my parlays. Like those are the only 2 things that I can say against him. I'm not gonna lie, he's a great player. He's a great point guard. He's a great point guard. But as somebody who's on my banned list for betting, I don't want to see him in there. But I love Tyrese Halliburton. Like he's a great player, and I love watching the Pacers this year. But no thanks. No thanks on Tyrese. Give me James.
Man.
Anthony Edwards is not an all-star?
Anthony Edwards is not an all-star. Wait, who's the guards for the reserves again? I forgot.
It's very competitive.
Yeah.
Drew,
it's Ja.
Tyrese.
No, for the West.
For the West. Shea, Dame, Ja.
You can't give it to him over any of those guys,
no, that's
unfortunately.
Very competitive guards.
I get it. I get it. But hey, man, that's a great episode. Another one in the bags, man. I mean, I think Cash in, Cash Out might be the best sports podcast in the game.
Bro, tune in.
Tune in. I mean, y'all, we was on air. The on-air lamp has been on gray the whole time instead of red, but we been live, man. We've been here. We've been out here. Putting in work, man. Putting up great episodes, man. Yes, Vince, I appreciate you coming out, man.
Yes,
You
really
really been plugging us up, man.
Appreciate y'all.
Thanks for coming out and giving us some good commentary, man. DK always here, man, and just keeping it fresh for us, man. Once again, I'm your host, CB. This my boy DK, co-host, and this is my boy Vince, man, co-host, man. And I appreciate you guys coming out, man. Thanks for tuning in to another episode of the Cash In, Cash Out podcast. We'll catch y'all next week, man. Appreciate it.